Okay, a little late to the party today. Let's get this all cleaned up. So first thing that I do is come up on a 15 or a 5-minute NQ micros and just draw up the overnight range, which is from 12 p.m. roughly here, right? And coming up to a market open. So we saw that the price was trying to get above the range on a 15-minute. That's the first 15-minute candle. I'll take that VWAP up as well. Come to this anchored VWAP and just right at market open. So now we have this ongoing reference on a 5-minute. So on a 15-minute, this is the first 15-minute candle of the day for 9:30. I'm just going to come in and draw these levels. Price goes above that, we're going to look for longs, which is literally came and rejected on top of the range. And if price goes below that, we're going to look for shorts. In the middle, we're just going to be patient. That's what NQ is doing. I'm also really interested in gold these days. So let's see. Alright. Gold looks like hit the previous day's point of control, bounced up pretty beautifully, and now during London session made higher highs, higher lows, and went up to yesterday's value area high and got rejected there. How I get these levels, we're going to get into that, but it's basically just drawing the volume profiles and then looking at the value area low and value area high. I haven't drawn more of the new ones of this week's because the previous ones, I think the market's been ranging, we could say, in these regions. So once we get past this region, I'm going to look for a nice continuation up to this top here. So let's draw that. That's the auto block, and you can see on the 50% of that keeps getting rejected. It got rejected here as well, here as well. So now we're kind of in the middle somewhere. If it goes above this line, which is the yesterday's value area high, then we can look at a continuation up to this. So it's going to be a nice long if it comes here. So basically this is our this is what we're going to be looking at. But strategy is to be patient, right? NQ. As we can see, these are the levels I drew from a while ago, and this was the all-time high. We broke all-time highs, right? On 15 July, came down, went below the all-time highs, and then got a strong buying action, push up, and now above. We're kind of consolidating here. It's not a lot of volume. It was a lot of volume on the 17th, which was roughly Thursday. Big buyers came in. So let's see what's happening here. Markets are coming down. That's my setup. This is what I usually take. So we're going to wait for it on a 1 minute and see there's a nicer entry. So roughly coming here and just that's my, and then I'll have a strict stop right above here. I like to stop out quickly, so I'm very impatient in a loss and try to be very patient
Order filled.
when there's profits. So why did I take that trade? Because if we see here, usually when the market gaps up like this, we will be filling that gap down unless there's like a big order or the Feds are printing money. So when the trade tries to work in my favor, if I see some good pushes down, I'll move or trail the stop loss to break even, just to protect my capital. Preservation of capital is the #1 rule in trading, right? And I want to see a nice push down to about this region, because this is where the most of the volume was traded, and as you can see, price just slipped here. It never got a chance to trade in these points, and it just slipped here. So we're going to see a nice continuation down. At least that's the idea. That's the trade. I could get stopped out, but that's the idea. Right, on a 15-minute, we see nice pushes down. Usually when the 5-minute closes, I trail the stop down, but we're not seeing a lot of volume or conviction in the selling coming through today. So it's just a matter of being patient. And the price, ideally I would like to see price coming down here, but we'll see. That's a good healthy 75 points. So let's see. Another reason for taking this trade is this is the overnight range. So all the people that went long here, they're all trapped now, as you can see. Everyone who went long here, here, they're all trapped. So they're going to be trying to get out of their position, or their stop losses are getting hit up here. So, and the sellers who are right here on this position, sellers who got on this top of the range, they're going to hold on to their position or even add to it. So that's the idea for this trade. Market's been very volatile, so I'm not too sure if we're going to see the continuation. And but looks like it's holding these levels here. So let me mark those and see if that's what we're going to see today, because it's very important to mark these levels. So this was a big order block. Roughly, if we cross that, we can see a nice push down, but it could just very well go off of here. So I'm going to be trying to trail my stop here. Also, as you can see, there's a nice liquidity grab here, or a support as you call it. So
order filled.
So I got stopped out there for break even. And then we'll just be more patient right now, because it could just very well, actually, yeah, it's not a very significant level. This is the level that the market's respecting right now. And the real-time technical analysis would be that market's just following this trend line currently. You could also argue that that was a big fake out, and from top of the range, this is what I'm looking at. So it could just very well come up, hit this VWAP, and try to range. But let's see. It's all about being patient. But just knowing that my edge or my setup didn't work out today, that's all right, because a lot of the people, or I used to in the past, would come in and chase this price. And what will happen is it will just reverse on me, and you will just end up with, like, let's say 10-20 points in drawdown, ending up closing the trade feeling really bad, and then taking another trade to make that loss up, and that's what burns a bigger hole. So it's good to be patient. Also, when you look at in the bigger picture from yesterday, that's not a lot of volume trading. Look at this big range here, right? Even in market open, that's a huge range. we can just go and see. That's about 80 points range, right? But today at market open, we're just seeing it about 40 points, so half of the volume that was traded yesterday. So I will be a little bit careful. Also, it is Friday, right? Usually I change this color to ONR, overnight range. So let's see. I am tempted to take another trade here, very tempted, but looking at the larger time frame, 4 hour, we're seeing a decent support here. Let me just mark that just for, that's the support we need to break, because you have strong buyers here, and also there's a support right here. So it could, and it's very hard to trade the market when it's hitting all-time highs. There's no range. It could just keep slowly going up and squeezing shorts and burning a hole, right? Like here. It just never came down, or you never reversed. So anybody was betting on the market reversing, they got pooched. So when you see a clear rejection here or here, it's easy to come and trade at these points and then kind of catch the trend up. Or when you see a clear rejection here, and you see at the previous highs, market is respecting those levels. Yes, there is a little bit of drawdown, but if you wait for the confirmation, you can catch this little reversal here, right? Or especially on this green day. So that's what I'm looking at. You could see this market come down and hit those levels, or especially this level, but I want to see a harder confirmation. Currently, it's just ranging in this little piece, and it's not worth it to, how many points is it? Like 13 points. It's not worth it. About 13, 14 points. You could go and do a 10-point trade, and sometimes I would do that just to get my P&L up, but I realize it's better to have less stressful days and just wait for the right setup. And if it shows up, it shows up. If it doesn't show up, then so be it. You know, 90% of this game is psychology and waiting. Anyone could come and click buttons, but the hardest part is just sit on your hands and not do anything. And if you don't see your A plus setup, then just move on with your day. Right? So if I want to see this, I want to see a clean break, right? A clean break, and then maybe I'll be a buyer. Sorry, a seller right at this point, because then we have a nice move down. But if I find support here, then there's no point chasing it. Right? All right. Let's see what GC is doing. So we see a nice rejection at this point, but it's very volatile. Looks like it's just going in a range. This is what I'm seeing. Even on a 15-minute or 5-minute, this is what I'm looking at right now. You have a clean wedge, like a wedge. Now it's all about, where's the price going to go? Is it going to break the wedge? Is it going to come down here and then go up, and then maybe I'll be a seller here to see a nice move down? Or is it just going to break the wedge on the upside? I really like wedges, right? And then once the wedge confirms, then maybe this is our trade, right? And then you just move it right up here and keep trailing the stop, maybe not on top of the 50%, but this is going to be a nice trade once the price confirms that it's broken the wedge on the upside. And it works both ways. So Topstep X does not allow setting up alerts. If someone knows how to do it, let me know. But right? We saw a clean break, so maybe I'm interested in becoming a seller right here. Oh, looked like I got missed just by a tick, right?
Order filled.
There you go. Stop loss right here. Maybe break even. Waiting for the nice continuation on the downside. And if it's like a very solid down movement, I'll fade into the move. So right now, market's been volatile. I'll just lock in my 5 points and go from there. Because now a lot of these guys that we were talking about, they're under the water. They're going to try to get out here because they're all buying up here as well. So now we're going to see a big sell-off because all of the buyers here from this point on, they're going to be trying to get out. And all the sellers that were here, they will add to their position. So this is what I'm trying to do in a 1 minute and see if there's any, right? And I'll just lock my 8 points. So let's see if we see a clean move down, or this is a point where you would add to your position, or I would add, right? So let's see what's happening on a 5 minute. So markets found a little support here where a lot of volume was traded last time. There's not a lot of volume here, so the next stop is going to be roughly 23190. Right now it's stuck at 23215. All right, this is a point where I would
Order
add a
filled.
contract. Let's see, there's
Order filled.
all right. That stopped me out right after I added. So sometimes it's good to be a little bit more patient, but hey, it's not the worst thing in the world. So what did I catch? I would have liked to catch like a big move down, but the market was just consolidating here. As you can see, it's reversing a little bit. So maybe we got a really nice good entry and we got out at about 17 points. Getting 10 contracts, 10 micros, that's 1 mini, right? And it could just keep going down, but I'm worried about this support here. So let's see. And you got to remind yourself that if it's a sell-off, then any pullback, a lot of sellers are going to sell into it again. It's not going to be like a big candle. So you're going to get your chance to, you know, get an entry here again. But the trend line stays, the trend break or the wedge break stays as soon as there was a break of the wedge. A little bit selling. This is where we got out initially. I should have just not moved my stop to break even, but it's all about protecting your capital. So maybe this is where I'm going to be looking at just to have another stab at it with a small position, maybe 3.
Order filled.
And see if we can get a continuation and get a stop before this candle. Right? Looks like we're reversing. And it was good to get out of there with a lot of profit, and good to be here in a small position to just see if the trade plays out. If it plays out, if you see sellers come in and there's a lot of conviction, then I'll add to it up here. Right? So all this, maybe I should move the stop here because a lot of sellers is, you got to give it some room. So this is where the sellers should come up just like this, right? And maybe this wasn't the best entry, but I was hoping for a nice push down. So let's see how we go. Usually with selling, Not like buying, you buy the dip, it goes up, the trend continues. With selling, it's always a very sharp, like look at these kill candles. It goes up 3, 4 candles, takes one big candle to just, get all the gains. Took so many small, and then it took one red candle, kill candle as we call it. So that's what I was hoping for, a nice big kill candle. If the trade starts working in my favor, I'll just add to it right there, which is the next key level here, right? But this is right at support, so we could just trade here, or we'll see a nice continuation or a sell-off day today. Let's see. Not sure how today is going to play out. Nobody knows. Let's check out the 15-minute. The worst entry, but it's okay. We got a tight stop with a small position, so it doesn't hurt. Let's be patient. So all the people, let's say if I was in this position, if I had a stop loss right here, those guys, all the sellers are in profit right now, so they're not going to get out of their positions. If anything, they're going to add to this sell-off. You know, that's how participants work.
Order filled.
And I got stopped out. The market's coming up and taking a lot of the stop orders. So let's say people will be trailing their stops who earn the money here. We'll see a nice big push up, maybe till this point. Let me just draw a circle. Ooh, that's a big kill candle. So this is what I was hoping for right here, but it kind of came up and took me out. Not just me, but a lot of the other participants as well. My entry was really, let's just say, quick, forced. I should have been a little bit more patient, but hindsight, market is wicking and ranging and is trying to find support in this area, which generally means that there's some buying action going on here, and usually reversals are very quick. You'll have a big green candle that would be 50% of this candle, and everyone that's here is going to be out of the money. So it's good to cover that position and get out. So nice rules followed. Right? Now what am I seeing here? I'm seeing that a lot of these guys that had a profit, they were in profit, all the sellers, they got out here. Right? Market just took them out. And a lot of new sellers came in after they sellers bought, a lot of the buyers that were stuck in this region, let's say you bought here thinking that this was a support area, boom, boom, 2 times market got a support here, so they bought it here as well, right? What ends up happening is all of them, when the market moved down, they were out of the money. And when market came up to this level, they just got out. Out of their positions. So we might see a little bit of consolidation in this range, and the market's still deciding because a lot of the people right now lost money. There's not a clear trend right now. That's what I see. Buyers who would right here, they just got out, so they would be more patient. Let's say if the market comes down here, that's the next level they would be more interested in, because previous resistances become clear supports. So this is the region they're going to be interested in buying, and the sellers, they're just going to be more patient right now, because it could just reverse from here. You see, there's not a clear coming down, it's just a lot of wicking. So hindsight, let's say if market didn't take me out here, this would have been a nice 40-point trade, and you call it a day. But you never know, right? It could have easily just reversed as well. So it's good to just protect your capital. That's the number one rule. I'm very tempted to get in here, put a stop here, but I have a big feeling it's just going to run all those stop losses right here. So maybe this is a good spot to get out or get in as a seller. Let's see. I'm going to mark this place, let's say. Right here. All right, looks like this was a sell-off. And market just rewarded everyone. And it got out the weak sellers. That's okay. We'll wait for a nice bounce of this level. I'll delete this order. In this instance, I was completely or partially wrong. I had a feeling that you saw support here, so you could take this trade as well, but historically I know this is this is a little bit risky. When market broke this level, came up, right? And then you just come in with the minimum drawdown, but you never know if it's just going to keep going down or up. So this is a good point to short or add, middle of the trend, but I wouldn't touch it for now because this could easily reverse and just take all these stop loss orders. Let's see. Yep, big orders right here. It's going to come up and grab that liquidity. There's a lot of orders, not many below the low of day. Market's being very volatile right now. So this could be an interesting spot to short, clearly, right? And this is a region where initially there was a little bit of interest. Now market just came up. This could be an interesting area to short, but it could easily reverse in this space as well. I'm not seeing a lot of conviction in the sellers. When you have a sell-off, it's usually a big candle. But right now, so a lot of buyers are going to come up here as well, because buyers would have come and bought off this level here. Previous resistance has become support, so they're just grabbing everything. So let's see what we're seeing here. What I would like to see is get in trades with the minimal drawdown. So especially I had an order up here as well, roughly at this level, 23220. This market's finding new support here. I'm tempted to be a buyer. I like to go counter trend because sometimes we get nice pushes up. I've seen a nice sell-off, so sometimes this move get exhausted and you see a nice sell-off come up till here, but the market's been so volatile, doesn't hurt to be more patient. All you need is a couple of good trades or one good trade and you're good, Yeah. And I'm seeing a micro trend here as well. Let's just say this is the micro trend. Or let's just do this. Since we broke those lows, this is a micro trend, and that's valid right now. So I could take a short up here because it's just going to get rejected here. Let's do that with a small position.
Order filled.
Let's see how right or wrong we are. Yep, it's about 1-2. Because if we break this trend line, I'm no longer interested in this trade. I just want to see a nice sell-off right here. I want sellers to participate and sell this green candle right to 23168 or a psychological number 23160. So let's see. I'll be a little bit more generous with my stop loss this time because, I don't want to get stopped out, but then rules are rules. I will be trailing the stop as the stock moves down. So just to protect the capital. As always, the number one rule of trading. To fight another day, you need to protect your ammo. Alright, we didn't see a nice continuation down. This was kind of a break of trend. But let's see if we can get a push down. Yep, as soon as it got pushed up, now a lot of the guys would be seeing this trend line. Right here on a 5-minute, I think it becomes more clear. So still holding that trend line. Let's see. Again, it's good to be patient with your entries, but you can never time the market. So I believe in executing. All right. Still my stop loss is above the break of this trend line that we just created on the 1 minute. Because if it breaks that trend line, we're going to see a nice big push up right to 23236. And I don't want to be a seller until this point and being all this is drawdown. And it's going to be a 1:1 trade. I want a 1:2, 1:3, and everything else would look after itself. Past couple of weeks, my accuracy has dropped a bit just because of the market conditions and just how it's been ranging, or it will just stop me out. So it's good to be a little bit patient. Plan was to trade a couple of hours every day. So 9:30 market opens to 11:30 or 10:45, and then call it a day. If you see your setup, great. If you don't see your setup, then so be it. So today, this was my A+ setup, and it kind of played out, but I got stopped out, which is fine. You live to trade another day. Then I took another trade here. I got stopped out, and I took another try right here in this region just to see if we can get a trend continuation on the downside, because it is heavy. market's been a little heavy today. As soon as we broke the overnight range, which was the lowest low of the 15-minute candle, the first 15-minute candle, right? And this was the school run candle, or the second 15-minute candle for the day, right? A lot of the people, if that breaks the overnight range, you kind of get short here. So this would have been a great short coming here, but now we're kind of floating somewhere in the middle. It needs to find a support, and that's why I'm in this trade, because if it comes up to somewhere around here, then market's just being very choppy. That's not a very good price action that I want to sit in and trade. But if we see a nice good continuation to the downside, that's the trade I want to
Order
be in.
filled.
Well, that's a stop loss on the last position as well. As you can see, it broke the trend line. Let's see what gold is doing. As we discussed, gold broke this trend line, and as soon as it broke it, there was the big continuation on the downside. Now a lot of this selling is going to happen right at this point. So this is a very interesting trade as well that we could see. Right at this level. Maybe up here. So I'm going to sell 3 contracts right here. And my stop's going to be right above here, and then we'll see a good continuation to the downside. Gold can go up, absolutely, like it did here, but in my experience, if it breaks a wedge like that, it can continue going lower. And we've seen good buying action the past I don't know how long, so it wouldn't hurt to short it and fade this move a bit. Maybe I missed that entry. Right, NQ coming back down after it stopped me out. Sometimes I would have a wide stop loss, and if I see market just came up, I'll wait for it to come down and I'll just get out right at my entry or close to it just to protect myself. But again, this was a smaller position for me. Normally I would go with 5 micros or 10. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Let's see how we're done today. So here's the trading for today. This puts me a little red day. Nothing too shabby. Let's keep going. Oh man, salty by that entry. That's a big drawdown. Don't want to get into it, but My order is just right at the top of this range.
Order filled.
I'm long short GC, 3 micros. That's my absolute loss limit. And I'm going to be looking at profit roughly in this area, at the top of this range. But that's my absolute. Let's see how this plays out. NAS looks like it's stuck here, and market's just being choppy. And you look at yesterday's trend. Look how clean this was. It's not a lot of chop. Market finds support, comes up, finds support right here. Keeps going up, finds support, keep rallying up. So it's a good time. Clean moves. And then it was a lot of choppiness here, right? And then it's just the range bound from here to here. You could argue that's a channel that's range bound. Today it broke the channel, and now it's being very choppy and undecisive in this area. I do want to get into another short, but I want to get out quickly. Again, it's very undecisive. That's not giving me a lot of conviction. It's choppy and I wouldn't touch it. What I'm looking at on a 1 minute is a little micro trend forming. This micro wedge that everybody's looking at. A lot of traders won't touch it until there's a confirmation of break of this micro trend. Right? And if it comes up, there's a lot of resistance here as well. So sellers are going to be pushed. Anybody, let's say if there were a seller here, like I just sold, they all got stopped out. So they're not going to be a seller here until they see a nice big liquidity grab or a nice big order block come in and they see a lot of institutional conviction. Until that time, they're going to sit tight, or the smart money is going to sit tight. That's why we see a lot of chop here, and it could just easily get sucked back into this range. So, and that's not like a good reversal as well. Because a lot of people, remember, who bought here, they were under the weather here, they would get out, just like this kill candle. So we might see a big kill candle here as well, and we under a VWAP. So let's see. Nothing is for certain in the markets, guys. And even this technical analysis, it only tells you about what's going to happen in the next 3 to 4 candles. It's not going to tell you what's going to happen later down the line. Here, we might get a big order pushing it down, or a big order taking off these highs. We just want to be a participant in the middle somewhere. That's the idea. That is the idea. As we can see, that micro trend is broken for the first time. And now we're seeing some buyers come in. But this could also be a stop loss run, and then it could get easily sucked back into this range. So take it with a grain of salt. Wedge breaks are my best trades. These are my A plus setups, but especially wedge breaks like this. Today was gnarly. Maybe I could have just be patient on my stop loss, but so as we discussed, it just came up, grabbing all of those stop loss orders. for all the sellers that were in this area, thinking that it was continue down, especially like what I did. I had something like a very tighter stop loss, but a lot of these sellers would have a wider stop loss and they're looking for a nice big move down in this area about 2380. And then the reason we might see big kill candle here is because, like as we discussed, a lot of the buyers that were in this region, they will try to get out here because they're under the water. So it's all buyers and sellers, and who's under the water is who is not. A lot of the sellers that were in this position, because they saw this huge consolidation here and not a lot of conviction, their stop loss are going to get hit as well. As you can see, their big order is sitting at 230, right? There's a big order. And there are a lot of orders just right here. So as discussed, we saw a big kill candle. All of the buyers that are here, they're trying to get out of their position. They lost conviction. So, and we might see support of this trend line on the top of the wedge. And a lot of the weak buyers are going to come up here and see what's going to happen. But in my opinion, we're just going to see a lot of chop and consolidation and no clear trend today. You could trade this, but the risk is a lot higher. And I did get stopped out twice, so I might not touch it for today. See, it's getting range bound. It might just get sucked into this range. You know, there you go. And now what I'm seeing is this trend right here. There you go. That's the wedge. My charts might look very funky right now, but I think it's important to identify those micro trends, and they change throughout the day. So I'll take that off. All right, GC looked like. So let's say you're a buyer at that trend line that I had before. You would be under the water right now. Sellers are not going to touch it. So that's why we're going to see some consolidation in this region. That's the little micro trend, or you could also argue that this is what people are looking at, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Maybe that was the larger trend, but I'll leave those because they do come and play later in the day. All these lines are not arbitrary. Traders or even algos look at these lines and trades off and make decisions off of these lines, you know. So these are important levels that everyone's looking at. So that's the trend that we have developed in the past. Let me go ahead and make them a little smaller, so not taking a lot of space. That's the trend. If we break this, but in my opinion, we're going to see a lot of consolidation. There's no clear trend today. And my GC position, gold, we saw a little push up and it's coming down. That's consolidating as well. Let's see what it's doing on a 15-minute. 15-minute, it wicked on the upside. There's a higher chance it would come down as it's doing it right now, but let's see. Usually I would put my stop at break even here, but I'm being a little bit more generous just because of the market conditions. It's just huge wicks up, down, big range, no clear direction. So, but if this trade works out, you know, this is an arbitrary level. Like I'm not going to, this is not set in stone. what I'll usually do is just trail the stop in the money. And this is just in case if you get a big sell-off or a big red candle, and so this order is just there to catch it. Sometimes it happens, and then it will just quickly reverse. Um, Sometimes, or usually, I would just automatically close the trade here or in that region. Even that's going to be a good, let's say, losing 1.9 or 2 points to gain 4.5 points. That's a pretty good trade. Well, let's see if it plays out. All right, we don't know yet. NQ, a lot of sellers on the tape, but these could be ghost orders. It could come and grab this liquidity. All these big orders, these are sellers just waiting for it to break the little wedge. But there are a lot of selling orders on the upside as well, so it might just keep pushing up. Usually I would go to this time and sales, and as you can see, huge orders have piled up, you know, roughly here, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5. Right, GC, I would put my stop at break even. Right, huge orders have piled up, 2, 3, 2, 5, 5. Roughly here at this area. So sellers or buyers, they want to come up, and this is the point that people are going to be interested in. As you can see, it's still range bound, consolidating in this region, as we discussed. There's a lot of orders right in this area, 23255, right here in this range, right? And then huge orders have piled up. So we might see a nice reversal up in that 23280 area, Yeah. So this is where in this overnight range, price might get sucked into the overnight range. So a long could be, long is not off the table. That's all I'm saying. Usually I like to go with the trend, but we could see a nice reversal here. And on the sell side, we're not seeing a lot of action. So there is a possibility that we might just see a reversal coming up to this area. And this might be the exhaustion of the move, seeing that it already hit this area and now it's moving in this little region. So we could come up and draw a little bit of that 5 minute, we already have this line, which is a lot of buyers are interested in this line, but we have a nice auto block right here. It's not the biggest, that's why there's a lot of indecisiveness. Sellers think that it's going to come down to the high of this area, but it's enough for the price to stay here and, lack of a better word, manipulate in this spot. Looks like GC might get stopped out. Let's see. Still struggling. 30 minutes is not looking too good. We want this 30 minutes closes in about 5 minutes. We want this to be a doji, something like this, so that we see a good trend reversal. What we don't want to see is price closing at this area. We want to see the price take out these lows from the last 30-minute candle, and then that would be a good continuation to the downside. Righto. On 1 hour is looking promising. We're seeing a good, nice red candle, but we wanted to close below. On a 5 minutes, it's just consolidating. Could easily come up, take me out. But what we want to see is something like this, right? Break of a wedge and bouncing off a key level. There is no key level here. I got rejected. Let's say once, went up, fake out twice, went up again, got rejected again, went up, got rejected. This is our entry initial, but we didn't get filled. So I got in a little late on the action right here. Now we want to see a good push to the downside. That would be a trend continuation. But as you can see, these big wicks could easily take me out and then continue to the downside. So that's the dilemma. What should we do as a trader? Should we wait? Should we have wider stops? Or should we just be patient and take it for what it is? That the setup didn't work out and I'm consistently want to see a certain kind of setup. And if that doesn't play out, then I'm not interested. And that's how you're going to see consistent results. Because if you keep taking trades that are inconsistent and you just keep chasing the market, then the results as a trader are going to be very inconsistent. All right, NASDAQ, as I said, I wouldn't be opposed to it being longs because I saw some big orders right here. Huge contracts, 23270 right here. That's a big contracts, or there's a lot of action in this range. So we could see a reversal. Not opposed to trying it, but we have to be very careful. I just wanted to break this range. It looks like it was flirting with breaking that range, but then you saw a big push down. And let's see. Maybe this is it. You know, what I would like to see is price go up and close and hold here. And then that would give me some conviction into buying. Right now, this is just a chop. This is consolidation. There's no clear trend. You know, buyers are losing money, sellers are losing money, market's indecisive. Where would you go short? Would you go long? It's a lot of confusion, and it's not just me. It's every participant in the market today. And it's a Friday. Historically, Friday, you know, you see a lot of chop come in because, you know, it's the long weekend or the weekend coming in. So people want to go home early or later in the day, or right before the end of the session, you'll see a big move up. You know, that's when the institutions come in. On the retail sides, we usually miss it. See, I'm glad I did not go long here because I was waiting for this candle to at least come up and close at the top of the range. It did not. So it looks like it's just going to bounce off this trend line here. So it's just range bound. We are going to see some decision making in a bit, but right now it doesn't hurt to be patient. We have to be patient. It's respecting this little wedge right now. You know, you could take these range bound trades, but let's say if I were going long here or short, right? It could easily take me out, and it did a couple of times. So, all right. Looks like it broke the trend. lot of indecisiveness.
Order
Going
filled.
short here. Don't ask me why. Just have a feeling. Because we broke the trend and I missed the entry. I should have set up a limit order. Here's my stop in the money. Let it run. And I would like to get out here. And I'm with full 5 contracts right now. So stop in the money is not the worst option in the world. There you go. Keep trailing that stop. 5 points secured. Not the worst thing in the world.
Order filled.
And it stopped me out. You know, I could have another stab at it. Let's see how GC is doing. Gold is trending down quickly. Let me go to the 5-minute and set up my stop right here. Secure about 1.5 points. We want to see a nice huge push down. You know. I am setting my stops very tight because the market has reversed on me before and
Order filled.
you know, alright. That's my order filled. So I could keep going down, but I'm out. I didn't see what I was looking for. Here as well, let's say if you stayed in the trade, it came right back to my entry, right? So this is not a bad proposition. This is where actually a lot of the sellers would come in, right at this area. So let me see if I could sell it with,
Order filled.
oh, I was trying to do a limit order, but I kind of went to the market order. I'm new to this platform, so, you know, never too hurry. Let's just, it's all right, just for 3 contracts. Well, let's see now. See some decisiveness. I actually wanted to get a limit order right at this stage, but I accidentally hit the market order and I got it at this point. Let's see. On a 15 minutes, you're seeing a nice push down and we could see a big pooch. That's what I would like to see. I'm not interested anywhere. As soon as it breaks this, I'll go break even. All right, stops at break even. Right. Adding
Order
here.
filled.
In with 6 contracts. Let's go 5-minute. See, not a lot of sellers coming in.
Order filled.
And it stopped me out. It's too bad. Let's see how we did today. Almost a break-even day. Perhaps. Maybe a little bit in the money. It's okay. See, sometimes I'm glad I got out because let's see GC. Let's say I didn't get out. There's not a lot of decisiveness. It's just up, down, if I stayed. So it's almost back to my entry. That was a good push down. And NQ is coming up. What I did was I added. I wanted to see a good push down, but there's just so much chop. Huge wick. Came right back to our entry, guys. Come on, guys. You know? So it's almost 11 o'clock. I've been trading for an hour. Usually don't do this, but let's check the stats. Oh, $19 up on the day. It's been a 50-50 day. As you can see, because it's been a 50-50 market. Up, down, up, down. So I could have closed at about $100, $200 and moved away, but you want to see your edge come into play, man. You want to see if the system works. Right? Gold is seeing a lot of good push down, but I'm not seeing a lot of conviction. Let's see. Might find support at this region, you know? And that's what it's trying to do, trying to be range bound. Another thing I trade is Dow. Let's see how the Dow is doing. Ooh, that would have been a nice play. I kind of missed it. See now, good trend continuation. Let's say if I showed it here, it never saw light of day. It was always under the water. That would have been nice. Let's check out Russell. Same story. I just got stuck with the NAS. Russell would have given a better opportunity. Cool. What I'm seeing in the Russell is as soon as it broke this trend, or let's say the first 15 minute, this is the range for the Russell, right? 15-minute high, first 15-minute low, or you, as you traders might call it, the orb setup, right? Yes, there's a big stop loss run, absolutely, but you know, let's say you got in here, it's a big stop loss run, but I tried twice going short in Nasdaq, so if I've gotten the short the next time here, we would have seen a nice move down. Same with the Dow. You know, maybe we're seeing a reversal, so let's check out the S&P. Ah man, this was a gnarly candle at 10. Let's see what happened. NQ at 10 o'clock. Yeah, this was pretty gnarly. Took a lot of these guys out and then came back. So Nas is just undecisive, man. That's why I got out, because it's right back to my entry. Now there is a chance of shorting it here on a 15 or 5-minute, you know, but we could easily reverse. It's not a high conviction play. So
Order filled.
let's give it a stab. Let's try out a short here in the NQ, right at that trend line, and see it comes down this time. Let's see. If it kills me, then it just wasn't the day for the edge today, which is okay. Not every day is gonna be golden. But I followed all the rules, and this was a good entry right here. Maybe a tad bit early, 5 points too early, but proud of that. Coming down this level, we'll see a nice push down. About 40 points, that's not too shabby. Let's see. While that's doing, let me see what the GC is doing. Gold. See, right at that moment, man, close to our entry. This was a very good exit. Sometime doesn't hurt to exit. This trade, I'm off of this. See, it got rejected perfectly, almost to the tick from this trend line or the bottom of the wedge. That's my trade. I want to see break of wedge, come up, retest, and then continuation to the downside. And if there's any discrepancy, I've got a stop loss to protect me because I know there are huge orders upstairs. I don't want to get caught with my pants down. So either we see a nice sell-off to the 23160 region, or we get stopped out and call it a day. And that's today's NQ trading. Let's also see what ES is doing because they both mirror each other. Seeing some sell-off come in the ES as well, so that's going to give Nasdaq a lot of conviction to sell. If ES doesn't hold this level, where are my levels at? Oh yeah, these are my key levels. Looks like ES is just flirting. You know, came down to that 50%. We just want to see a nice close here. NQ flirting as well. Flirting. Let's see if we can show us some love. I really want to take the stop loss to break even, protect my capital today. But market's so volatile, it's just always been taking me out, so I want to give it some breathing room, which I did for the couple of trades as well. But it really, it's good to get stopped out on those trades, even if it was ranging and just setup just didn't play out. And it was 1:3, so one setup works, I'm in the money. So that's not a bad proposition, you know. Flirting with it. Let's see what the Dow is doing. Dow and Nas kind of work together as well. Dow is flirting as well. These are my levels for the Dow. Pretty big, I know. But they worked in the past. You know. These are the ranges for the Dow. Looks like it broke the range. As soon as it broke it, right to the T, it got, you know, up to the 50% of that order block. That's fun. You know, fun to see when the markets are between ranges. That's what I meant. It's hard to trade something that's at all-time highs like Nas. Dow is not at all-time highs, so it's kind of easier to gauge the levels and trade between those lines. And when you go to Nasdaq, it's at all-time highs. Like, you know, it's yet to make those levels. So let's see if we can continue coming down. Or so this was a nice big doji doji is pretty good on a 15 minute. That means there's going to be a trend, or buyers or sellers are undecided. That's not a lot of buyers pushing it above this level, and it's been sell heavy throughout the day. So we might see a continuation to the downside or a big manipulation getting all these orders up that we talked about. This is a key level. This is where the market needs to decide what it wants to do. It's flirting with it. You look at that to the T, it came up, and although this is not a good sign, we still want to be patient and see if this move completely sells off. But this is not a good sign that it came down. It did close below, but we need to take out these lows. That's the next stop, especially these lows. That's what I want to see for me to be in this trade. So I'll take my stop loss at this level. Because if it comes up, it might come hit the VWAP, and we don't want to be in that drawdown. Also, I'm with 3 contracts only. That's a small position. This was a feeler. If it came and broke the lows, I would have added like I did in the past position, but that reversed completely. So I'm glad I got out of there, break even almost. But if that move continued down, that would have been a nice healthy profit. And that's the move that I want. That's why I'll add to it and just move my stop loss up. And even if that small profit, let's say 100, 150, it will disappear because I'll add to it. It'll come down to my entry, and I'll break even on that trade. A big part of me would, your older self would tell me to just take that 150 profit and stuff, but then that's the 50-50%. Next time that's just going to go away. That fast money is going to go away. But if there's a strict process of getting that larger trade, let's say if I'm in a full position, 6 contracts or 8 contracts, and it goes to my profit target, that's what I want to see. And I'm not interested in any small profit. And I'll take those small losses and get on with my day. That's the edge. That's the risk to reward, or reward to risk. Looks like it didn't respect that level at all. Looks like it's reversing, or it's just a big chop, you could agree. Man, let's see. Gold is literally exactly where we left it. We did see some good pushes down, or that was a big move down, but we kind of got out at this position. So I'm interested in gold being short at this stage because of this big red candle. That wouldn't hurt, you know. We could try that with a tight stop. Doesn't hurt, but there is some. I'm looking at this trend line for gold right now. This micro trend that's formed. It did get rejected there, so that's a great sign. You know. Looks like NAS is working. Yep, that was a big push down. That's going to give some conviction to the sellers. I still want to come and take out these lows so I can add to this position, but let's just not be too optimistic here. You know. Okay, funny. My internet cut out. So just give me 1 sec and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Trying to get the internet sorted. It's funny these things can happen. It's called internet dough, Wi-Fi living, and then the Wi-Fi doesn't work. How do you? Good thing you always set up a stop loss, in the market, so anything happens, you're protected because these things can happen, let me tell you that, you know? So, do they throw you off? Absolutely, they take you out of your flow state, but that's the whole thing about trading. You have to be adaptable to the markets, to your emotions, to yourself, to everything else in between. Nothing is a sure shot, especially in the markets. But having no internet or having the internet cut out even for 5 minutes, that's pretty bizarre. I'm gonna lie. That does stink. It's the infrastructure. I'm trying to log in through my phone. Ah, right. I'll just end the stream here. If the internet doesn't come back, then there's no point continuing because I don't know. There's a power outage and I should have had backup internet for sure. And that's going to happen in due time. But I don't think that day is today. So I'll try it for a couple of minutes. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, then so be it. It's comical though. I don't usually stream or record. First time I did it, or just for trading. And then this happened. What were the odds of that? Hi. Like, what were the odds of that? What date it is today? 18. Oh yeah, I have to go ahead and fix this internet. Yeah, looks like it's not gonna work right now. All right, so we'll just end it here and catch you on the next one. Passing the Topstep combine. The whole point of the video was to just get everyone and myself to the journey, document everything, and use this as a trading journal. So if someone can get some value out of it, that's incredible. And over time, if I can build a community of people that can hold me accountable and hold each other accountable for having good trading principles and not treating the market as something which is a get rich quick scheme, treating it like a professional and making sound decisions. And so the psychology really plays a big part in trading. So it's good to good to ground yourself with people that have the same mindset, and it's good to hold each other accountable. So with that, on to the next one, and see everyone later.